Good morning, everyone. Hi. How are we this morning? Oh my gosh, it's Friday. And I think I have my thing is just a little too, there we go. A little too cutting off. Must be falling down. So we're going to do something we've done before, but a little bit different. We're going to work with some mango and do a mango salsa, and we're going to ferment it. So we're going to get started right away because we have a couple of different things that we're going to do here. And this mango is, it's just on the edge of needing to be used. So we're going to try and get that all the way around the pit, which is super easy. Hey, good morning, Kathy. Nice to see you here. We're going to work with some mangoes and some tomatoes from my garden. They're very slow to ripen, and I'm not really sure why. Apparently, you're supposed to put an apple with them, and I did do that, but they still seem to be slow. And I don't know, it could be because the house is really cold, so that could be part of the problem too. Anyways, so there's the mango. Oh, we need to add onion, and I'm going to get my little paper towel here, wipe some mango off. So everything's been washed, and so when we make the salsa, it really enhances the whole salsa, no matter what kind of salsa you're making, if you ferment it, and it's super easy to do that. Okay, pay attention to what I'm doing here. Okay. You always want to be careful with a big knife and make sure you keep your fingers out of the way. These are really nice onions. And so anyways, yeah, so when you ferment your salsa, you enhance the all of the raw ingredients, right? And it's so important to be eating your raw fruits and vegetables and getting all the nutrition out that you can. And of course, raw is always better. But personally, for me, I tend to run on the cold side. And if you work with traditional Chinese medicine, or you work with Ayurvedic medicine, they have the well, what they call it's doshas, or in Chinese medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, it's constitutions. And so, you know, some people run really hot and they're always warm all the time, and you know, they probably don't do as well with spicy foods and things like that, and you know, they have the door open like when it's cold outside and stuff like that. And then there's other people that are always cold and sort of damp, you know, so I'm one of those. Like everything, like when it's hot, I'm hot. When it's cold, I'm cold. But internally, I have like a dampness, you know. So it's just that very fluid inside. Like it's a whole nother class, and I'm not an expert on it. I know enough to know, you know, that there are certain foods that cool, damp people should eat, and certain foods that hot, fiery people should eat or shouldn't eat. And so anyway, that's why I really do like the warmer foods rather than just raw, but I do try and eat as much raw as I can. So we're adding some beautiful jalapenos, fresh here, to this, and onions. And so all these are going to be so healthy, along with the garlic, right? We've got 3 cloves of garlic we're going to put in here. And so when you're fermenting it, you're increasing the benefit of the raw salsa. Like you're increasing the activity of the garlic, which is going to be antiviral, antifungal. Garlic just does so many things. And you're increasing the activity of the tomatoes, which, believe it or not, according to Dr. Michael Greger, he says they're very anti-inflammatory, the tomatoes. And they are really good for menopause. And to the recent studies that I've done, the tomatoes are better for the prostate if they're cooked. So cooked tomatoes are better for the prostate, which is very interesting because my husband doesn't like raw tomatoes at all. He only likes them when they're in something else, and he doesn't really know it's a tomato. Kind of the same way with avocados. But anyways, yeah, so the tomatoes do have so many benefits. Helping with menopause, helping with hot flashes and that kind of thing. And I know some people really have an issue with nightshades, and there's probably a better way of doing this. You guys are so used to seeing me. I am so not a professional cook at all whatsoever. I am a professional herbalist and natural health consultant, and these Facebook Lives are just about showing, it's just about really hanging out and working with healthy foods. It's not, it's certainly not about my professional ability to cook or chop. Anyways, so yeah, so the peppers, they've got the vitamin A, they've got the vitamin C, they've got potassium, and so when you're fermenting, you're just enhancing all of those benefits. And so the fermentation, there have been so many studies with the benefits of the fermenting. Like it's really been, hey Jane, good morning. I look tropical today. Yes. Oh, wow. I never even thought of that with mango. Yes. Very good. It's fun. It's supposed to be fun, and it is fun. We should just, on gray, dull days, we should just dress like we're going to the beach. And I didn't do that intentionally. I don't know. I just looked at this dress and thought, I'm going to wear that today. Yeah, so with the, going back to the ferment, there have been so many studies with, connecting your immune system health and your gut bacteria. Your gut biome is all related to the whole body, your immune system and how healthy you are, and also to the brain, big time. They say that your gut health has everything to do with depression. They've worked with the raw fermented foods and probiotics, because the raw fermented foods are creating the probiotics naturally. They've worked with them in cases of Alzheimer's and autism and all kinds of things like that, and huge benefits. And so I'm adding some ginger now. Yeah, so the benefits of fermenting anything that you can are just so fantastic. And I know I need to ferment some more things. I have my sauerkraut in the fridge, which is basically a raw fermented cabbage. And then we did carrots, fermented carrots, which are like pickling them. They taste really pickly right now, which is awesome. So once they're fermented, then you put them in the fridge and you take the fermenting lid off. So these are the fermenting lids that I'm really quite crazy about right now. And you put these onto the jar, and I put all my ferments in the fridge because they're finished, so I need to make more. But you put this on the jar, and then this thing sucks the air out and stops it from any kind of mold. Because if you're working with any, hey Manette, good morning. If you're working with any kind of fermenting anything, you need to make sure that the brine, which is the salt water, that's a lot of ginger, right? It's so good for you though. Maybe not quite that much. That's quite a bit of ginger. I'll save that for dinner. Yeah, so anything that you're fermenting needs to be below the brine, which is the salt water. Otherwise it will create that film and that SCOBY kind of thing that similar to kombucha. So what do we have here? We have tomatoes, we have peppers, we have onions, we have garlic, ginger. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of the Celtic sea salt here. And so when you're fermenting, typically it's going to be a Thank you. It's going to be a little bit more salt than usual. So typically, if you're doing a quart of water, you're going to do a tablespoon and maybe even 2 tablespoons of the salt. In this case, I'm just going to add a little extra because I'm just going to leave this out for about 3 or 4 days to ferment. And as soon as it starts to ferment, maybe a little more, half teaspoon. As soon as it starts to ferment, you know, you taste it every day. You always check your ferments every day. Open them up and taste them, see how they're doing, make sure nothing strange is growing, and then taste them, and then make sure that you push it back down underneath the brine so that there's no food particles sticking out of the brine, because that's what the bacteria is going to grab a hold of. And then so with the salsa, you take it out, and it's so nice because you're tasting it like every day. And this is always the fun part, these things. To get it going. Okay, I'm going to hang on to it like this. I think this is going to work better. And I usually do chop them up finer and don't add quite so much. But I didn't, like usual. I'm so busy talking and hanging out with you guys that I forget to cut things very fine and not fill this up as much as I did. But this is really good for upper arm strength. I actually have a video on my YouTube, and it's called Muscle Salsa. Because it's pretty funny. Same thing, right? It's the big struggle to get this thing going. But I have about, I don't know, a couple hundred videos on my YouTube channel that are mostly 15-minute healthy meals. And so you can check that out, and you'll find the actual recipe for this. Now, this is looking, yeah, I think I have everything. This is looking good. It's looking foamy. And you know, last time I made this, it was just regular salsa. It wasn't mango salsa. And I used a different kind of tomatoes, and they, I could actually put a couple more tomatoes in there. Yeah, they were like I don't know what they were called, something like a Black Betty tomato or something. And they were very meaty, you know, really quite dense. And yeah, I wasn't really crazy about them. But anyways, and I couldn't figure out why my salsa was acting very strange. But anyway, this looks good. I just need more red. Always going for the color, which reminds me, I don't have any cilantro, but I do have a little bit of parsley, so I am going to add the parsley just because I would like a little bit of more green than the jalapeno. And so we're going to put that in there. If you had cilantro, I would absolutely add it. I didn't have any. I had some fresh, and it went away. It just disappeared. So yeah, so cilantro is so good for you. It removes heavy metals from the body. It's great for detoxing. If you're working with any kind of chemicals like disinfectants, nail polish stuff, hair sprays, products, things that have chemicals in them, cilantro is so good for helping you to remove those toxins. And if you have an allergy to environmental, anything environmental allergies, you know, rather than like pollen, but chemicals, you should definitely drink cilantro tea because it will really help to clean your system of the product, as well as helping you to not react to those things. Okay, that looks good. So the mango acts a little bit different, of course. I guess I can set that there. So it looks a little different, and it kind of does a little mushier thing than the regular just tomato pepper salsa. So, but yeah, I am going to be putting it in a jar for fermenting, but I'm also going to put it in a dish so that you can see the beautiful salsa before we put it in the jar. Okay, so simple as that. If you want, like I did put the the jalapeno in there, so I didn't add any cayenne, but if you want to add extra cayenne, you can. The other thing I did not put this time, whoops, dropping it all over. The other thing I didn't put this time is maple syrup or honey, and you can definitely do that. The reason I didn't was because that mango was kind of overripe, and so yeah, so if you want to, you can add more sweetener to it. It all depends on what you're going to do, what you're, it does, like, you know, I always think about that. If you haven't bought it, it's pretty good. It's the, hey Darlene, hi, good morning. It's the Paul Newman mango salsa, and it's really good. And I think that there's quite a bit of sugar in it, but it is really, really good. So feel free to add sugar, you know, that's fine. You can do that with your ferment. I'll put it like that. I don't know. I'm always playing with the color, right? The color has to be right. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm just looking to see if it's ready. I had to put it in the oven to warm it up. The next thing. So I'm going to move this and grab this stuff out of the oven and grab that and show you. Okay, I will carefully show you the next thing. Okay, I just wasn't sure if it was too hot to touch. There's another pepper there. We're going to move this here. We'll move that there. I'll move it in a second. We're going to grab this. And the thing. Okay, I've got it. Here we are. Okay, we're good. This is maple syrup. I know it looks funny in a shot glass. Okay, so we're just gonna do the cute little thing, and we're gonna do some cashews. We're gonna make a little cheesecake here without the cheese. And these are the cashews, raw cashews from Healthy Habits, and or wherever, you know, wherever it is that you want to buy your raw cashews from. So they need to be raw or relatively raw. And we're going to pop these guys in the Vitamix. So usually it's like, I'd say that's 1/3 cup. Okay. And we have raspberries here. We're going to put 1/2 cup of raspberries, and that's what I had to make sure that they weren't frozen, because they were frozen, and so I had to make sure that they weren't still too cold, because we're going to mix warm coconut oil with them. And if the cold raspberries touch the coconut oil, I have learned that it doesn't mix very well. So we're going to add the coconut oil to this. Okay, and that was 1/4 cup of coconut oil, me and my non-measuring, and a shot glass full of maple syrup. So, because I don't want it too sweet, right? With the cashews, they're very sweet. The raspberries aren't, but you know, I really want it to taste more like a raspberry cheesecake rather than too sweet, right? The one thing I forgot was you can add a little bit of whatever milk you have. Like if you have an almond milk, or you have a coconut milk, or whatever kind, you know, just add a little bit of that to help it blend better. We're going to wing it with that. We've done this before where we have where we've actually had to add more. When you're blending, you never know what's going to happen. Like, especially when you do recipes like I do, which is just like, okay, let's try this. And then we just, you know, we just experiment and see if it works. And if it doesn't, we do plan B. Okay, so I hope someone was measuring, because that was the exact perfect amount of of milk, coconut milk. So we're just going to put this in the little mold. These are so handy. I think this was an Epicure thing. I'm not really sure, but you know, some of them are kind of stiff, and then you want to make sure they're BPA free, right? They don't have the bad plastic in them or the bad oil or petroleum, whatever that is. And so, yeah, I'm really liking these because they work really well. And a lot of them have like a white film inside. Like even when you wash them, they look dirty. I don't know what that's all about. This one's pretty good though. So we're just gonna try and pat it in, because when you take it out of the mold, when you take it out of the mold, oh my God, I need to drink some of my Vitality tea. When you take it out of the mold, you're going to turn it upside down, so you kind of don't really ideally want air bubbles. And if I was really smart, which I'm not that smart at all, but if I was a real cook, I probably would actually put a raspberry or something decorative in the bottom, so that when you flip it over, it would have, you know, the cutest little ornament on top, or decoration, or yeah, condiment, something like that. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're just going to get these guys in here. Oh, I have a few chunks. I didn't quite blend it enough. I have a few chunks of cashews, but that's okay. It'll be a nice surprise in the middle of the cheesecake. And I'm just kind of randomly putting them into whatever spot that feels right here. Okay, so I know this doesn't really look very professional, but it will when it's finished. And if I was really to spend a lot of time fiddling around with this, then it would look a lot better. But I don't want to spend all day having you guys, whoops, watch me do this. Oh, here we go. I put it on the table. That's okay. It's just, I don't sell these or anything. So it's okay that they don't look perfect. Okay, we're going to do that. We are going to get a paper towel and wipe this part up and get this into the freezer really quick, and then we can show you what it looks like when it's finished. Okay, so there's that. So there's going to be the little raspberry cheesecake, please cake things. I was going to show you also something I do make and sell, which are my herbal chocolates. So the herbal chocolates are, they're selling like hotcakes. They are so amazing. So basically it's cocoa, organic cocoa powder, and hemp heart, sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, goji berries. It also has coconut and the herbs, the healing herbs, ashwagandha, astragalus, oh my gosh, ashwagandha, astragalus, maca, all the healing herbs. And so the chocolate actually acts as a herbal supplement, but it tastes really good because it's cocoa with the coconut oil, right? So I'm selling lots of that. Oh my goodness, so many different things. And I was just looking for the actual list, but anyway, that's what that is. These I sell and I ship them, and it's $5 and only $2 for shipping. So anyway, those are selling like crazy now. I couldn't sell them during the summer because it was too hot and it would melt. It doesn't have any wax in it or anything like a commercial chocolate, so you know, so it does melt over 80 degrees. And so yeah, so I couldn't really make it and sell it during the summer. So I'm really happy people are buying these up for Christmas. And yeah, they're super healthy. I sell them here, I ship them out, and also you can get them at the Power of 3, which is really, you know, here in Port Alberni, which is really awesome too. And I wanted to talk to you about another thing. I'm kind of disorganized this morning because I have so many different things going on, believe it or not. So what we're doing is we're going to work with a couple things next week, and I wanted to show you, and I didn't get the ingredient, and I don't think I have it near me, but I'm going to tell you about it anyways. So I just wanted to say that things like what I was going to show you, and I don't have a sample, but I'm going to tell you about it anyway. Sage. So sage is something that I don't know how many people grow it, but I work with a few different kinds of sage. I have a wonderful person who sends me sage from the Okanagan, and so that's like a desert sage. But you can use regular sage that you would grow in your garden, or if you have some in your, in your kitchen cupboard. But preferably something fresher would be better. And so the sage as a tea is super, super helpful. It helps the whole respiratory system. It helps to dry up conditions like me being a very damp person. It helps with that. It helps with respiratory things. It's antibacterial. I think it's antiviral too, but I'm not really sure. But it can also help like just settle your brain. So if you're having experiences like a little bit of dizziness or vertigo or that kind of thing, or just feeling anxious, it's very grounding. It's very grounding herb. So you can just take a couple, like a teaspoonful of sage leaves, and put them in some hot water, and it's very, very calming. It's got a, it has a sagey taste, so it's a little bit of an acquired taste. But you could add some maple syrup to it, or some honey, or whatever your sweetener is, and just don't add any dairy. If you wanted to add a nut milk, you could, but the idea of the sage is to clear and to cleanse. And so to add dairy is not, it's not helping to clear. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, hi, Monique. Yes, the chocolates are amazing. They're very energizing as well. Like, they're a health supplement, and they give you energy. They make you feel good, and they're really healthy for you. You could actually eat them for breakfast because they're that good. It's like instead of having a smoothie or taking your supplements, they are very good. Oh, and I can custom make them too. Someone asked me about that because I have ginseng in them, but I can make them without ginseng if that's a problem, or there's a certain herb. The ingredients are on the package, so if there's something in particular that you're allergic to or can't have, I can custom make that, as well as the teas. But I just wanted to talk about sage more, and to try it. Like, I think as we go into this stage of I don't know, whatever stage we're going into, that's a whole nother subject. But anyways, and we're going into the stage of the typical cold and flu season. All these different things that you have in your kitchen, I really want to go over that, and things that you can just grab. If you're feeling kind of like you got a bit of a sore throat and you happen to have some sage, then you can make a cup of sage tea and try it. And get familiar with what you have in the kitchen and what you have available to you, because I don't know, some people don't even have the money to go and buy things at the grocery store that are typically what you would go for if you felt a sore throat or a cold or something like that. So to be able to know about things that are in your kitchen is really valuable. And ginger too. If you don't have fresh ginger, you can use a ginger powder. Put it with some honey or maple syrup, or, some people like stevia. I'm not really a fan of stevia. Coconut sugar is really good. It's very earthy, kind of caramely tasting. And so that would be something to add. But, get used to, it's my suggestion anyway, to empower yourself by learning more about things that you can use in your own kitchen, like ginger. Cayenne is awesome for any kind of sore throat. It soothes it right away. So you could add some ginger and some cayenne and some hot water. You could even add the sage to that. And so, yeah, so I encourage you to play around with things like that. And a lot of people have been asking me about things that would help you to be more self-sufficient, and you know, and not as depending on specific products and things like that. And so yeah, so we'll be sharing more of that. And oh my gosh, I can't believe it's Friday already again. And so yeah, have a great weekend, you guys. We'll see you Monday, and I look forward to your comments. There are some comments of people wanting me to do more breakfast things, more salady things. And so feel free to, you know, put in the comments what you'd like to see me share with you, or what you'd like me to experiment with. I've got all kinds of really fun, different ideas. And thank you for hanging out and exploring all these different things with me, being so not a professional. I should show you the mango. Okay. That helps me keep track of what I'm doing. Okay, so we'll see you guys on Monday. Thanks for hanging out. Check out my Instagram, my YouTube channel, and take care. We'll see you Monday at 11.